Before going to see the code, let us try to understand what is Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence is a series of the numbers that always start with 0 and 1 and steadily increasing series where each number is equal to the sum of the preceding two numbers. In simply we can say that Fibonacci sequence always start with 0 and 1 and the next number is generated by adding the preceding two numbers. See this example, it will be more clear to you. Always start with 0 and 1. These are default values in the Fibonacci sequence. Next number is generated by adding the preceding two numbers. So third number is 1. You can observe here. And the next number is also generated by adding preceding two numbers 1 plus 1. In such a way, next term will be generated. And the next term will be generated by adding two preceding values 2 plus 1. In this way, the numbers are generated in the Fibonacci sequence. Now let us see the code. This is the Python code which is used to generate Fibonacci sequence up to the given term. How many numbers you want to generate, we must enter that number as input. So that many numbers will be generated in the Fibonacci sequence. See the first statement, prompting the user to enter the number of the terms to generate. That will be entered by the user and that should be converted into the integer type because input method returns that value in string format that should be converted into the integer type. After that, that will be stored in the variable number underscore terms. As we discussed just now, first term is always 0, second term is 1. So we are assigning those default values. Term 1 0, term 2 1. When you run this program, the program prompts the user to enter the number of the terms to generate, right? We covered just now. So if you enter number of the terms less than or equals to 0 means that may be a 0 or any negative number. In such cases, no need to execute the program because if we enter 0 or negative number, no chance to generate the sequence of the Fibonacci. So if the entered number less than or equals to 0, just I want to print, please enter a positive integer. Check one more condition, else if, ELIF, else if you enter 1, number terms is equals to 1, so only first number will be printed. What is the term 1? 0, right? That only will be printed. See now, if number terms is equals to 1, print Fibonacci sequence up to. This will be printed as it is because this is in the double quotes, comma. The value of number underscore terms will be printed. What is the number underscore terms in this case? 1, because we are checking this condition when you enter 1. So in this place 1 will be printed and the term will be printed as it is as we are writing within the double quotes. So finally the output of this statement is Fibonacci sequence up to 1 term. Then print term 1 value. What is the term 1 value we have in this case? Only we entered 1, so only first value 0 will be printed. If you enter 1, only one number in the Fibonacci sequence will be printed. The first number is 0 only. So you may enter negative or 0. In such cases, you will get the message like enter positive integer. If you enter 1, 0 will be printed as an output. In other cases, other than this, you may enter 2, 3, 4, 5. For that, we are writing the code in the else part. This is important one. Else. Else means if you enter 2, 3, 4 and so on. In such cases, this else part will be executed. Coming to the else part, in this case, let us assume I entered 4. So print Fibonacci sequence up to, printed as it is. Number terms 4 terms will be printed as it is. So Fibonacci sequence up to 4 terms. That is the output of this statement. And I am taking one more variable count to count the iterations. Count initially 0. Okay, because how many iterations we completed at this moment? 0 na? So that's why the count value is 0. Now coming to the while loop. Now the first iteration is going to start it. That is iteration 1. While count less than number terms. What is the count value at this moment? 0 na? and number terms value is 4. We are assuming we entered 4. 0 less than 4. This is true. If it is true, the control is going to enter into the while loop. Then first print term 1. Term 1 value will be printed. What is the term 1 value we have? 0, right? Because we initialized 0 in term 1, 1 in term 2. So term 1 value, that is 0, will be printed first. Remember this, 0 will be printed. Then nth term assignment, term 1 plus term 2. Term 1 0 plus term 2 1. Then nth term value becomes 1. For the next iteration, we need to update the values of term 1, term 2, because in each and every iteration, term 2 value will be assigned to the term 1, nth term should be assigned to the term 2. Term 2 value will be assigned to the term 1. Now term 1 value is 1. Nth term value will be assigned to term 2. Now the term 2 value is 1. Then count assignment, count plus 1, or you can write count plus plus. We have 0 in the count now count plus plus, count value becomes 1. And as it is a last statement in the while loop, it is going to redirect to the starting point again. Then see, again we need to check the condition. Now the count value is 1, right? So 1 less than 4, that is also true. If it is true, again control enters into the loop. Term 1 value will be printed. What is the term 1 value at this moment? In the previous iteration, term 1 value is updated now, that is 1. Okay, so now 1 will be printed. Observe, in the previous iteration 0 was printed already. Now in this iteration 1 is printed. In this iteration 1 is printed. Nth term assignment, term 1 plus term 2. Term 1 value is 1 up to this. Term 2 value is 1. So 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Now nth term value becomes 2. Update the term 1, term 2 values for the next iteration. Okay, term 2 value is 1, that is assigned to the term 1. So term 1 becomes 1 and nth term value is 2 now. So that will be assigned to term 2. So term 2 value becomes 2. And count assignment, count plus 1. Count value is 1 at this time now. Count plus 1, that is 1 plus 1. Count becomes 2 now. So coming to the iteration 3. Now the count value is 2 now. So 2 less than 4, that is also true. And printing the term 1, at this time the term 1 value is 1, that will be printed. 0, 1, 1, these are printed up to this moment. Then nth term equals to term 1 plus term 2. So term 1 value is 1, term 2 value is 2, 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Then update these values for the next iteration again. Term 1 equals to term 2. So term 1 value is 2 and term 2 equals to nth term. So term 2 value becomes 3. Now see the count value. Count plus plus. Count value is 2. So plus 1, that is 2 plus 1. Count value becomes 3. And again it must be redirected to the starting point. Whenever the condition becomes false, then only the control comes out from that loop. Iteration 4. So in the previous iteration count value was 3. So with that value we need to check the iteration 4. 3 less than 4 true. So as usual, if the condition is true, the control enters into the loop. Term 1 value will be printed, that is 2. In the previous iteration, term 1 value is 2 now. So that will be printed. And nth term value will be updated, term 1 plus term 2. Term 1 value is 2. Term 2 value is 3 from the previous iteration. So 2 plus 3, that is 5. Nth term becomes 5. And update term 1, term 2 values for the next iteration again. So term 2 value is going to assign term 1. So term 1 becomes 3 now. Term 2 equals to nth term. Nth term value is 5 now. So term 2 becomes 5. Increment the count by 1. 3 plus 1, count value becomes 4. Now again redirecting to the starting point. Now count value is 4. So 4 less than 4, that becomes false. Whenever the condition becomes false, it must exit from this while loop. And there are no statements here. And finally, after executing this while loop, the output we are getting from this loop is 0, 1, 1, 2. That is 4 numbers are generated in Fibonacci sequence. So I think the each and every statement is clear to you. Let us execute this program. Click on run module. Enter the number of terms to generate. Let me check first case 0. Now see the output is please enter a positive integer. Now let us check the second case. Enter the number of terms to generated. Let me enter 1. Press enter. Now see Fibonacci sequence up to 1 term is 0 only 1. Let us check the negative case also. Enter the number of terms to generate. In this case let me enter -1. Press enter. Now see the output is please enter a positive integer. And another case, let me give a valid input now. Enter the generate of terms to generate. Let me enter 4. Then hit enter button. Now see the output is Fibonacci sequence up to 4 terms 0, 1, 1, 2.